Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, May 26th, 2020. And today I thought it would be interesting if we took a look at the properties in Montclair, which are either coming soon or under contract. So you may have heard me on a previous video talk about coming soon. So that is a status of a property which is not officially on the market and available, but it's a way of the agent and the homeowner telling the public this property is soon going to be available for purchase. So it's almost like it's giving you a preview of what is to come. So what I did is I decided, let me take a look at the Garden State Multiple Listing Service, or the MLS, and I wanted to see what's happening, what is coming soon on the market with no maximums. Really, I want to see anything that's out there. The only caveat is I am requesting all properties which are not community living or condos or townhouses, right? So putting that criteria in, it isn't perfect. There are some people, when they do a listing, they don't necessarily click that it's community living when it is. So I have noticed that a few of them which are under contract, they technically are community living residences. But what I thought was interesting is there are 8 properties, which are, no, 7 properties, which are coming soon. So they range in price from 559 all the way up to 1.950. So I thought, well, let's see what those homes are, which are coming soon to the market. Because if any of you are interested in a property, you should know things are moving much quicker than they had been. So I think we are now seeing all of that spring market that kind of had a false start in a sense, because yes, there were some people who did list their homes, and we know there were some buyers out there looking for a home, but there were some people who decided to hold back and wait until the numbers were better for the pandemic so that they felt it was just a little bit more safe to list their home, especially if they're going to actually be living in the home and maybe have some visitors come in and take a look and decide whether or not they want to make an offer on the property. So the first property I see that's coming soon, listed for $559,000, that's a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom home with a garage and a basement. Okay, and then the one right after that, so there's another home listed for 659,000, which is 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, still with a garage and a basement. But that's interesting. There's $100,000 price difference between the two, and we'll see the more expensive home has a half bath, not a second full bath. And it also came on the market a day in advance of the lesser priced home. So let's just take a look at these two listings. I don't believe either of these are with my office, so I'm just going to take a look kind of from a distance, take a peek at the listing, and just see what's going on. So the lesser priced home, they're saying it was built approximately in 1928. So wow, that home is almost 100 years old. I really do appreciate all the charm and character of older colonial homes, which is that's what this one is. I also see that in 2019, the taxes were 18,671. So just, you want to make mental note of that, because as we've discussed before, if you have a price point in mind, so let's say you're pre-approved for up to $800,000, you're going to also want to know what should your property taxes look like, because that's what's going to make up your payments if you're taking a mortgage, right? So it's something you want to keep in the back of your mind. Spending $559,000 in Montclair with an almost $19,000 tax bill, that's something that you really have to think about and decide if it works for your budget. And sometimes, even if financially it works for your budget, you may decide that you're just not comfortable with spending that much money, which I can completely understand. So now when I go to the next home, I noticed something interesting. So that home was actually built approximately in 1938. So it's 10 years newer, if you want to say it that way. Um, and it says that it does have central air, which cools the second floor only. But the taxes on that property are $19,826 based on 2019 taxes. So I thought that that was interesting just to see where the taxes are with the two properties. Um, Now, let's take a look at what's under contract. So I see the properties under contract range all the way from $119,000, which is a property that's located in the fourth ward. And then if we go to the most expensive, I can see that there is a property listed at 2.95 million, which is under contract. And I believe that property's been under contract for quite some time. Let's see if I can get some details. So yes, it went under contract in January, um, and it looks like they're planning to close in the next few weeks. But I remember that property. That was something. So that's actually a property that's listed with my office, and the Sam Joseph team is actually representing that property. So yes, when there's a home at a higher price point, it's I would say it's typical for a property to take some time to be on the market. I mean, 2.95 million. I would consider that a pretty expensive home personally, but to each his own, right? So I remember going through this home. It's a Tudor style home. I remember it had very high ceilings. It has a wonderful library. It has a pool. It has a tennis court, a koi pond. I remember it being something very, very special. It was probably one of the first homes that I viewed as soon as I had gotten my license. So it's interesting to see that home come full circle from being first listed on the market and introduced to the public. And then now it's under contract and hopefully it's going to close soon. That home was also built, it says 1928 approximately, and then it did go through a major renovation in 2009. I do remember that home, there were just so many different paths you could take to go throughout the home and how the rooms were connected to one another. I thought it was really interesting. And actually, I remember they had a pretty fabulous broker open house when it initially came on the market. The rooms were they're absolutely huge. The living room, 36 by 20. That's a really nice sized living room. This is a home that is definitely, it's built for entertaining. It's built for having friends and family, and I'm really excited and interested to see, what finishing touches the next person makes when they make it not just a house, but they make it into their home. So that is very interesting. And the taxes on that property, and this makes sense. So for 2018, the taxes were 83,442. So based on a property that size, I mean, this is a very large lot. It's 257 feet by 207 feet. Irregular, that's 1.77 acres of land, which we already know land is a hot commodity, right? We're not making any more of it. So to be able to secure close to 2 acres of land in Montclair in an area where, yes, it's residential, but it's so easy to get to the city. It's so easy to have that balance. Sometimes you want to go out into the city, meet friends, have a good time, and then, maybe when you go home, you want it to be a bit more residential. So I think that's part of the charm with Montclair is that it really is nestled in between both worlds, right? So that is on the upper end of what is under contract in Montclair. Other than that, I have noticed, let's see, what else is under contract? So in total, between the coming soon, which were 8 properties, and then the under contracts, that's 63 properties total. And they've definitely been on the market for varying times. So when I look at what's under contract now, some of the properties range from as little as a day on the market. Wow, there was one that was on the market listed for $379,000. It was on the market for a day and then it went under contract. So that's really interesting. Sometimes you wonder what's the backstory in that. But overall, when I look at the properties ranging from 469,000 all the way up to probably close to a million, maybe just over a million, most of these homes were under contract in less than 2 weeks. So I think that also goes to show how quickly things are moving and the fact that there is limited inventory and there's so many more buyers than there are houses that people are pretty serious. They're coming prepared with their pre-approval. They know what they're looking for and they connect with a great agent who can schedule an appointment so that they can see the homes that are available. And then they're submitting their offers and moving forward. So I think that's really encouraging. I think that you sellers out there who have been contemplating whether or not it's the time to list your home, I think this is a pretty good indicator that we have 55 properties in Montclair under contract. I think that's a really good indicator that it might be a great time to list your home. And I'm certainly able and happy to talk with anyone who's been considering selling their home. I can be reached at 973-460-4674. I'm happy to talk with anyone, whether you want to list or you're considering buying. And then, of course, I am the rental queen, so I am doing tons of rentals as well. Um, I've said previously that I've had a lot more New Yorkers who are looking to come out into the suburbs lately. So, I have been closing numerous rentals each week. So right now it's 3 o'clock. I'm actually prepared to meet with a home buyer at a wonderful estate on the other side of town. So I'm going to head off now, but feel free to comment below or reach out to me. I'm happy to discuss real estate with you. And I wish you well. Enjoy your day.